You shouldn't do that. It's weird. I feel bad. Welcome to... We're filming, right? Yeah. Welcome to the Tokyo Ghoul After Show.
He's so much more excited than I.
Yes. Wow, what an...
Really enthusiastic.
I'm feeling real good today, man. That was a very good episode.
That was. I liked it. What's interesting is I've read a lot, since we're a couple days behind. I've read some other reviews and seen some other people talk about it. And there's a lot of hate. Like a lot of hate for this episode.
Dude, I feel like a lot of people in general dislike the show overall. I feel like
it does. It seems to have a negative, just a negative vibe about it, which is very unfortunate.
Well, and I think this is what I would call, what I'm going to coin right now as Star Wars syndrome, where people like Star Wars fan want more Star Wars, and then when they get more Star Wars, and because it's not what they expected, they're unhappy with it.
Exactly.
Because that didn't meet their expectations, instead of just being happy that they get more of. I am so happy that I am getting more Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
Because, and the thing is that this is the direction that the writer wanted to take it. And it's good. It's just, I feel like people just need to, open up and be okay.
And there has to be, there's a stark contrast people need to make in their brain where, if this were just the continuation of the main Tokyo Ghoul story, it would be Tokyo Ghoul Season 3. But it's not. It's a different show, just like it's a different manga.
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul Re is a different type of horror and thriller than Tokyo Ghoul was.
Yeah, and though it may be on Hulu, it may be listed as Tokyo Ghoul Season 3, the title sequence says Tokyo Ghoul Re.
Yeah, it's a different show.
It's a different show.
And it's about different things. And that's the biggest thing is the first, Tokyo Ghoul as a whole, the first 2 seasons, and it's mainly the manga, but the whole thing was a psychological horror of one person having to basically become a vampire, and that story, because the story is a vampire story. Yeah. The general idea of it. And it's that story. It's a psychological horror.
Vampire story?
True. But that's the general idea. And so that is, and it's a very personal, a very intricate thing about one character and what he goes through. And Tokyo Ghoul Re is a giant political and worldly show about the world that he is living in now. Yeah. So we were focused in the beginning.
You're seeing two sides of the same coin essentially. Yeah. And they are different sides.
They are.
They are different sides.
But people, just like you said in Star Wars syndrome, people are expecting something. They're expecting more of the same thing. More of just oh, what's Heisei doing, and when's he going to be Ken, and when is it going to be the same show?
Yeah. Why can't people just sit and enjoy the character development and the problems that Heisei is having? It's yes, we know where the end game is eventually potentially going to take us, but enjoy the ride, man.
Exactly. And this show is the perfect example of that. This show highlighted a lot of characters.
This episode,
sorry, I apologize. But it highlighted a lot of things, and a lot of people grew, and I liked this. It was definitely a more relaxed filler episode made to transition into the new arc, because one arc is done. Yeah. They settled it, it's over. And now they're moving into.
And what an ending as well. With I'm glad they they tied the ends with Hiname.
Yeah,
that was great.
Which was really pretty too. I don't know if you noticed, there was a really nice piano going on in the background.
Yeah.
Which the music of that transitioned really well.
When he's walking down the aisle there, it was really good. Yeah, I
liked it. And then the Takizawa Mado sort of moment.
Yeah, that was briefer than it was in the manga. I feel but it was still it was creepy.
Yeah.
And it was just really creepy.
And it mattered. And I feel one thing, I know a bit more than I should just from the show, but even just watching the show, you can sort of take into that. Mado didn't see Takizawa and think oh, another ghoul. There was a moment of oh my god.
That's Takizawa.
That's Takizawa. And that right there, the way she, her inflection and the way she saw it, that is definitely going to be a thing. Yeah. Because
it was,
they were super connected before.
They were, and they were. I wouldn't say it was a one-sided rivalry thing. It was a kid-brother rival type a relationship. And so she's going to be going through the experience of this people that I knew and cared about and wanted to protect in the organization I am in, are now fighting against me and have changed and gone through changes, and so she has to deal with like, are they the same person or are they not the same person? Kind of a
exactly. And point being, all I was saying is I did like that tiny moment, even though it was just a flash. Like, I really think that is something that's gonna show up a lot more.
Creepy boy up in the rafters.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone loves a creepy boy in the ceiling. Grudge style. But anyway, sort of sticking to the normal format here. The general idea episode was, as you've sort of heard, this was a breather between two arcs. So like the whole episode was just, we had like a big dinner and just some character development, people asking questions about what happened, and then a lot of people dealing with what has just happened to them.
And some more problems arising for specifically Heisei.
Yes. Well, and that's really important because that's sort of the driver of the next part. But it's but the episode was nice. It was easy, and it felt good, and I felt like I know these characters a little bit more, and you're actually getting some motivations more, which is nice. I will say, before we go into all the things that I liked, once again, the art in this, I feel like one thing that stressed me out a little bit is, I know it was just a filler episode, but they still, like, it was almost like the whole thing was those sliding panels.
The chopping and the food on the table and the conversations.
Like, there was, they would a lot of, like, show a panel, talk over it, and they were all, I feel like they were extra lazy on this episode, even more so than normal. Because sometimes they would, like, again, they wouldn't even show the mouths moving. Yeah,
but some of that was, like, over, like, that was, like, background talking. Although, wait, no, when they were talking about, like, Arima and the umbrella, stuff like that, they would pan away from him when he was speaking and stuff like that.
That was really something else. They're like, and I heard you, when he was like, I heard you killed someone when you were asleep, and he's like, well, I was sleepy.
Yeah, it was like, I heard you killed the ghouls with an umbrella. He's like, well, I didn't have my Quinkyu, and there was an umbrella there. And so he never, like, he did not confirm nor deny these rumors. I loved it. It's great.
I did like that they gave him a little love, though. Like, he felt
more human. Yeah, they humanized him. And, and then Mato. I want to get more Mato, honestly. I feel like we probably will, but she's going to be playing a huge part. I don't get enough of Mato. She like, between having Hinami locked up as prisoner, Heisei dealing with Takizawa, she has so many, like, problems in her life, and we don't really get to see how that's affecting her.
I think they're hinting at giving her more time, like, especially this episode so the Takizawa moment where she saw that, and so instantly there's this, like, oh my god, that's my friend, which instantly transitions into, what if he's still alive? And if you watch the first season or read the manga, you know who she's asking about, because Takizawa and another character, which I won't name because I won't spoil it, disappeared at the same time, at the same battle, in the same place. And so she's like, well, where is he? And so now this is going to become an issue, and she's starting to really ask some questions. And they did show another character, and they were like, afterwards, there was a hooded character that killed a bunch of the Agori tree and showed signs of cannibalism, and you just see the side of his face. You can't figure it out yet.
You don't even see the side of face. You see hood, hair, and cheek. That's it.
But if you can't figure it out, then you need to... Come on, like, it's not that hard.
You should have not figuring it out, but you should have some guesses. There's a couple guesses you can make.
But yeah, point being that those questions are very important, and she's asking the right questions. She's moving in the right direction to where they can actively make her more relevant and have more, like, intrigue. Because now, like, the shift of the show seems to be going more against, like, people asking questions about what's going on, more like solving this mystery rather than, and not just Heisei, because Heisei was kind of the one trying to figure out what's going on, but now everyone's confused.
Everyone's got some issues.
But my favorite is Yuri. I love Yuri, and he's fine. I think you're finally going to start coming on my side here. He
got better. He did get better today.
You're finally seeing, like, he's starting to question his own hatefulness.
Well, I feel like he's starting to take that energy and point in a direction. Now he has, like, a true rival in Kuroiwa.
Yeah.
Kuroiwa. Like, a true rival, and then when he was leaving the house after to do more training, Heisei was, like, doing, like, the dad thing that he normally does.
But yeah, he's growing, and he has that rival now. And more than what I liked, though, is so when he's with the doctor, and the doctor's like, how did you solve your shit? He's recognizing now that he didn't do it. It wasn't just him. He's like, oh, like,
he had some help.
He had some help. And then that moment when Heisei's like, yeah, you have your team. And he had to think about that, and he left, and he's an asshole at first, and then he was like, he's right. And then I think a huge moment is so he sees Shirazu walk into this room and he hears Shirazu talking about, when I love that Shirazu calls him Prince Yuri, but Shirazu's talking to his sister, which has this crazy like Kakuja growth out of her eye, and Shirazu's just like, hey, like all these people are so great, like you love them, they're good people. And I think Yuri's gonna start to really come into his own, realizing that he is a part of a team. And he's like the leader of the team, like, because Heise's not always there. Like a lot of times it's just the guys and Heise's doing his own thing, so Yuri has to step into that role. And I love where his character goes. There's so many good things on the horizon, I promise you. And this episode showed so much growth for him. And he still is nuts. Honorable mention to like Papa Kuriwa, who walks up and doesn't say good job, doesn't say anything, he just goes, hello, son. And then his Jerry's, and it was just the most like, hard-ass dad moment ever.
Just real
like,
dad,
that's
real
it.
dad stuff going on.
But yeah, and it was just a good moment. So he was my standout of this episode for sure. I loved his character growth in this. Who else you got?
I mean, Mutsuki, Toru is becoming one of my favorite characters. Learning with Shirazu, I feel like, I mean, as to be expected, the auction raid had a large effect on Toru as far in the sense of confidence, teamwork, and everything. Yeah. And it's starting to understand that I do have the capabilities to be an asset, and I just have to find that niche. And Juzo is like Juzo is Toru's Arima, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's
a much better one. A much better like mentor.
Yeah.
Than Arima.
No, and like in the best line there was the ones who succeed in battles are the ones who tame their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I was like, not like defeat or eliminate their weaknesses, just tame them. Yeah. Tame them, because they will always be there. That's
one of those things. Like when you talk to a soldier, like people will always tell you, like fear. You can't get rid of fear. Everyone will have fear. The way to like you have to best fear. Like use your fear. Like anyone that doesn't have it is just boorish.
Yeah.
I mean, you link it all the way back to like Aristotle will tell you that. Like there's a difference in bravery and boorishness, and Juzo understands that. Juzo knows. She's like, no, I'm afraid. Or I'm afraid, and I have these things. I love when he goes, me and Pain aren't on speaking terms.
Yeah, that was great.
It was such a good line.
I love that. Yeah.
But I love, like, Mutsuki is doing awesome, because her character gets so interesting. His right now, but we all know it's her. And I mean,
that even happened with him. He was just like, Urie was just like, he was going to ask a question, and he was like, wait, no, the doctor definitely knows.
There's no way you don't know. Even the doctor. But point being, the fact that Mutsuki's not like snapped at Yuri and is like snapping at people, like you can see that confidence building.
Yeah, with the go get this. Yeah, go get these items.
Like old little like sort of timid Mutsuki would have never done that. So that was awesome. And then now to Heise. Heise is couple things to note that are.
I'm getting goosebumps just talking about.
Couple interesting things to note that I may be thinking too hard into this. Mm-hmm. One, like. So, like, when Heise got turned back into, or when Ken got turned into Heise was able to eat. Like, he was suppressed. So, like...
Yeah, does he have, frames, do you think, or no?
I don't think it's frames, but I think he's probably on, like, RC suppressants. Because he's weaker than he was when he was, like, full-blown...
Yeah, no, he has, he's not at full strength. Because, I mean, fucking Nishiki, kicked his ass.
Exactly. Like, he's on suppressants. And that's something that, like, they don't really get into, and I doubt they'll get into it in the show because it's a lot of technical stuff, but in the manga, even in the early parts, when Mado's kind of explaining, like, how she got him to where he is, she mentions it, that, like, he's being withheld. So when he breaks into his Kakuja form, he goes through those suppressants, that's when he gets so dangerous.
Yeah, because in this heart, and that's when they break into, like, the contingency plan of, like, okay, he's no longer Heise,
double S
plus rated Ghoul.
Yeah. But if you noticed, his hair's almost entirely black now.
Yes.
His hair's almost entirely black. He didn't eat in this episode when everyone else did. You saw a picture of every other character eating. Didn't see Heise eating. His hair's turning black again. He's really digging into Kaneki. Like, he's getting there.
When he was like Kaneki, his hair went white. Like when he was tortured and stuff.
Originally, though. Originally he was black haired. Like, that's kind of the big thing, is like, it's white and black, sort of showing this, like.
So do you think that's like an artistic thing of showing, like, I think art, like he's coming back down from, like, Kakuja state to Kaneki?
And I might just be way overthinking it, but I really think that they're visually showing it.
Okay. I mean, there has to be a reason for it,
because they're getting to that point, and now, because what would be cool is if they really play into this, like, he comes into his own, but now he's pretty much a spy. Like, now he's in. So, like, because if he does turn back into Kaneki, then, like, but he's still in
So-
in the mix. And now that he's kind of accepted like this 2 body or 2 brains in 1 body, like
I wouldn't say he's accepted. I think it's more of like he's aware, but he doesn't know what to do.
I think
Whether he
he's
should,
accepted that it exists.
Yeah. The first step is admitting you have a problem.
Exactly. Also, shout out, good line of it was when Arima's like, "You don't want to eat that curry. It's double S rated."
That was great.
Yeah.
And then you have Urie just sitting there just sweating.
Yeah, I've been to some Thai places where they're like, "You don't want to eat the hot food," and I eat it, and it's double S rated.
It's
And
double
it hurts.
S. If I ever open a restaurant, the hottest food is going to just be called double S rated. Double S rate plus.
And the people that get their meal for free.
if they eat all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was a lot of amazing things. He did all the research he's doing is great, and he's starting to have these cool flashbacks. The Yoshimura flashback was so much. When he was walking by, he sees Yoshimura next to Antiku. They're at the end.
Oh, but that was what a tease that was. But the thing is that everyone knew that Anteku burned down, so it was very easy to tell that whole thing was in his head.
Yeah.
Like now, if it was just Yoshimura standing in front of the lot, that would have been different.
Yeah.
That would have been a much harder tease, but it was very easy to.
Because in the anime, like, I mean, for everyone's anime only, like, Yoshimura we never saw him die.
No.
You never know you don't know where he is. You don't know anything.
You got spit back up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't, they don't physically show what happens to him exactly. So, like, who knows? He could be around. And, yeah, it's crazy. But there was a lot of cool stuff. And he found out he's now starting to question everything because he realized all the information about him was deleted.
Yeah,
He's
or
like-
all the information about Kaneki Ken has been deleted, and the only thing that is still in existence is that one news article about the accident that started him on this horrible, horrible journey.
Exactly. And yeah, so like I really like this. Like this is the beginning of a huge shift. And
I think it's only going to be up from here. I really do. I think we got through the at least in the anime, the worst portrayal of what the story was like before.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's only going to get better. The emotions and the stakes are just going to be higher.
Absolutely. And because now you can get into, and especially where we're going, because now like if you saw the end, like we're going to the Tsukiyama arc. So Tsukiyama and the Rosenwalds, and like it mentioned in the flashback about like what they learned in Germany, and it's huge. Like it's the whole story starts moving very quickly and gets bonkers.
Yeah.
And so now we're getting back into like if people are getting up in arms about it not being enough movement, enough like sort of actually storytelling, they kind of had to do that. Like they did this huge time jump, and we're working at 22-minute episodes. Like they had to show like where everyone's at, what everyone's been doing, what the world is like now. And now once we get into this, like you know it. Like you know Yuri's problems, you know Imutsuki's problems, you know like
Shirazu.
yeah.
At the end there. Like, is that a brother or his?
That's his sister.
His sister, yeah. And so I'm assuming she was a subject in the Quinks experiment, and I think it went not great.
I can't remember. I remember reading about it. I can't remember seeing it in the anime what happened to her. But yeah, she has this
based
they call it
upon-
like the Ross virus or something, or the Rose virus. And which later on you'll learn more about it. But yeah, she has like a cockroach coming out of her face.
Eye. Yeah.
And it's like her RC cells have just exploded and turned into this like weird thing on her face. It's like a tumor. It's like a ghoul tumor.
Yeah.
A goomer, if you will.
No.
If you will. But yeah, so there's some cool shit happening. Shirazu's gonna take a big shift too. Like I think he's developing a lot of confidence, especially after he killed the Nutcracker. Like he's gonna become much more of like a real investigator.
Well, you could see that was a moment for him when that Quinkyu was being made, where they were talking about it being like he
like this will be a super powerful one.
Like he's sitting there and he's just going, and he's just like, you can tell that he's like reliving. He's like I did this. This is something I did. It's like and because like he's kind of just been this like happy-go-lucky, loose cannon kind of just playing off script all the time, and now he's just like. He went through, he played it by the book, was successful, and he's like, I did something, I can do things, and he's having a character shift where he's like, probably just becoming more serious, but...
Yeah.
But I feel like he was probably like that due to his sister, to offset those emotions that he's having, and now
he was always talking about money. Like he brought it up several times, and now he's like, it's not just about that. I think he's becoming much more part of the team. Like they all went through some crazy shit. They all almost died. Like they're coming together.
Even Psycho's been out more. She was out helping Flambe.
Oh, that was great. Yeah. They call it flambe.
It's like you're just burning it.
Yeah. and she's just standing there staring at her burnt pie. It was good.
There's
And there was also the moment with Shirazu that was really cool, where the writer walks by, Eto walks by.
Oh yeah. Sen.
Yeah.
Sen Takasuki.
Takasuki, yeah. Where Sen Takasuki walks by, and then then like the next screen, they obviously imply with like the writing shift where like you see Takasuki walk by, and then King Kaneki gets the package, and like
Coincidence?
Coincidence, I think not. And because yeah, like if you watch like the last season, you know who that character is, and it's a huge thing because that is also like in the Rosenwald arc because huge. And that's super cool. They're hinting at so much great stuff.
So many things, so many feelings. Is there anything you want to project you think is gonna happen?
Well, I'm interested to see.
At least in the anime, we know where you're at.
In the anime, I think they're gonna really push the how drastically they shifted Mutsuki. I think Mutsuki's going to have a much more important thing. Like, her character shift is going to be big. And this isn't just me coming from reading ahead. I think in the anime, like, the people they're focusing on are like Yuri, Heise, and Mutsuki. Those are like the main ones. Like even Juzo's kind of been pushed to the side a little bit.
Yeah, but
Juzo's
we kind of wrapped it up a little bit on Juzo's whole thing.
Exactly. And so like I think those are going to be the cool ones. And because I do know a little bit more, like if they do focus on those three characters, like there's tremendous amount to go on. Of course Heise, obviously, but with those two, there's just so much growth and so many things. And I think that's where this new Sukiyama arc that's coming up next, where you see, I mean, you see Sukiyama wrapped up in like this crazy cocoon Kakaja thing, like surrounded by food, but still begging for more food. And then in the preview for next week, you see his crazy, voracious face. Those things are going to be movements for other characters. Like the Sukiyama arc is a very like moving piece for the whole puzzle of Tokyo Ghoul. So I'm just excited to see which characters they focus on. I think it'll be those two. But it's going to be awesome.
Dude, the skulls like scattered across the ground was just
and I feel like we're going to finally get some answers to things. Cuz like we have these characters that we have no idea what they're about. Like Kane showed up and is working for Sukiyama, but no one really knows anything about Kane except he has a weird accent. And then we hear like these things like what I learned in Germany, like what does that line mean? You're gonna start getting more answers about who's who are the Rosenwalds, why are they connected, what are these things, and how are they connected to like the Tokyo Ghoul world and the CCG and all these people. Because you're getting more and more hints every episode that it's all connected. Everyone knows everybody. Even when Renji's like, hey Uda, what are the clowns up to? Like what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
It's like, well, why do you care? Why does it matter?
Yomo.
Yeah, Yomo Renji.
Is that his last
Yeah, it's Renji.
Okay.
Renji Yomo.
Renji Yomo.
Yeah. Renji-san! Renji-san!
I just call him Yomo. That was that moment. What a surreal like thing where it's just like you literally have basically everyone back together.
It's all my heroes, all my babies.
It's everyone, and it's just like, like once again, it's. That coffee shop is a very delicate thing. Obviously, it's a safe haven for both ghouls and humans to come together and share space without them even knowing, essentially. But it's such a fragile thing, as we saw in the season 2, where it's just that while Toka and Yomo are maintaining this like, no, this is like Switzerland, everybody is welcome here, everyone, like this is what we do, blah blah blah. It's like. But then at the same time, you have the CCG where they are so slash and burn, where they're just like, like I mean, you even had it in season 2 where he was like, yeah, this is like a really good cup of coffee, and like and he was just, like there was this sentiment that if they had not been Ghoul and Investigator, that they could have been friends, like Yoshimura and then the Dove, like
absolutely.
They sat down and had a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
like
absolutely, and that's the big thing in this. I mean, the whole thing of Tokyo Ghoul is like breaking down this bird cage, like breaking down the concepts of who is who, like who owns who's worth more, and so the story as a whole, like it just in the direction. If anyone is like into theory of writing or whatnot, the ultimate theme and goal of this is following Kaneki's desires, and you know that his desire really is like, why are we fighting? We should just talk. He says it a million times. Like, if we could just start the discussion, we'd be better. Which is relevant in the world we live in today. If people could just sit down at the same fucking table, stop yelling at each other, and talk.
Art imitating life?
What?
Really? What?
How does that
Crazy.
happen?
Oh my god.
But what would you give for like just a journal over episode review rating?
9. Easy
Really?
9. Easy 9. Even though it was a filler episode, I loved it. I thought it was it had so much good development for each of the characters, no matter how small it was. I got all the feels that I wanted to, especially when Toka just drops that cup of coffee. And they did such a great job of not showing where he was at there with like the book. And just book face, and all of a sudden coffee.
Yeah.
Read
Bam,
cafe.
there's our girl.
Yeah. So.
And it was. And people have to, I hope people understand and don't give too much hate. Like, because I'd give the same thing. I give like 8, 5, 9. The only problems I had is once again with art. I thought it was a very lazy episode art.
It would be an easy 10 if they would just...
It would be a beautiful episode. Yeah. Like, and I say it every time, but there's so much amazing animation going on in the world right now. Like, how can you not catch up? How can you not catch up? And I'm tired of these stupid sliding frames. Like, the sliding frames are making me so mad because there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
But besides that, like, point winning me is, like, you can give an episode a 10 because the action's incredible. Because, oh my god, I saw Nishio fight Eto and Yoshimura powerbomb somebody. It's like, oh, cool, that was crazy.
Suplex.
And somebody got suplexed. And, like, yeah, you can get a 10 for that. But you can also get, like, this. Like, I loved my characters that I've been waiting to see some motivation, some backbone, some, like, real grit in any of them. It's coming through now, and I'm seeing it, and I'm starting to. This episode brought.
Thank you so much for watching today. Be sure to check both of us out. Leave a comment down below if you have any theories or anything like that. Yeah. And please join us on
YouTubes.
Yeah, this is for the YouTubes.
Yes, for the YouTubes.
Please join us next week, somewhere between Tuesday and Thursday. Just follow me on Instagram at @thedanrudd, and we will let you know.
Sweet.
But thanks for watching.
Thank y'all so much. Have a great day.
All right.
Peace be with you.